Okay, welcome back everybody to this second video of mine. I hope you really enjoyed the first video and that it also got you interested in order to watch this second video. And if you haven't watched my first video, I would definitely recommend you to still watch it. Maybe even before you're going to watch this video, to give you more context of the things that I'm talking about or going to talk about in this current video. And what I also mentioned in the intro at the start of my very first video is that I want to give a complete sequence of events of what happened exactly for me and how I went through my whole spiritual awakening, so that all of you really understand and hopefully determine where in the process you are right now as well. And I still really feel that I'm very much at the beginning, because I'm just stepping out of my hermit phase, the phase that I needed to kind of like figure out and understand all of the stuff that is happening to me, and really be able to find out the real truth about it. And as I mentioned also in the first video, that I really got like very clear signs and I feel really guided around this eclipse season in July to get my word out, to get out and find the others, find other people that are going through similar things in their lives right now, so that I could get in contact with them and really get to start on working with these amazing capabilities that we all possess. But so in order for that to be able to get into contact with others, I feel it's necessary that I explain everything, how it happened, so that people can kind of figure out for themselves if it would be a right fit for getting into contact with me. Like, I really feel, and I've watched a multitude of different YouTubers who have been expressing their own experiences and views and trying to help people, which is all really good, and with good intentions, and I really enjoy watching most of them. But I've also experienced that some of them I just don't really click with. We're not really on the same wavelength. They express certain things that happen to them in a different way, which I don't really resonate with. How they explain it or see things or that kind of stuff. So it really depends from person to person which kind of other people you want to take as examples or role models, or as people that you want to learn from. And that's why I really want to share my whole story with you, just to be complete, so that people can see if they are like resonating with the way I have experiencing things, the way I explain things, and if they feel that they want to get into contact with me. So that's also why probably most of the people that are watching this and are really already looking and have been researching this a lot and figuring out certain things, reading, watching other people, much of this information is probably already clear to them. They already know these kind of things, and they feel, and then maybe for some other people there have been certain things along the way that they didn't pick up on and that I did find out. I would also really appreciate that from other people, to kind of like get to know how they got to that point of where they are right now. I really feel that I miss that in most of these YouTubers. But I just want to be complete in my personal experience and my personal spiritual development. Let's get to the presentation. So, I mentioned, of course, now Steve Jobs, who is probably an easy person to relate to for the most people that are watching this, and kind of like like the people of my generation to relate to as the person that has been using this and that has really changed the way we do things in our everyday life. But I also want to emphasize that Steve Jobs really was not an exception in all of this. Like, if you would go back into the ancient times, thousands of years back in history, these ancient civilizations have all been using their own plant medicine to get into this altered state of consciousness that they've been using in their spiritual rituals all over these years. And there is so much evidence to be found of this. If you would look to ancient drawings on caves, and the Egyptians and the Incas and the Mayans and the Indians, they all have like pictures and pieces of art in which they include mushrooms, which has played probably such an important role in the development of these civilizations. And the Egyptians, which have been using the blue lotus, which is pictured in most of their drawings and hieroglyphs, as ways to evolve as a society. And that out of the Egyptians you got, like, around the time, the dominance of the Greek people. And Plato is another person of which it is known that he has been using these kind of substances because he didn't want to leave any stone unturned into understanding things, and he really went into great lengths to figure stuff out. And Plato, of course, is like the foundation of Western philosophy. It all started with Greek philosophers, the Stoics, that have been thinking about all of these ideas. And Plato was really the first one that started to ask these questions, which have been the inspiration for all these other philosophers to come after him. Another person who also had really interesting ideas and theories about it, and that's Friedrich Nietzsche, who also used a lot of Plato's basic ideas and questions to think about and to form ideas and theories around. And Nietzsche is, of course, quite misunderstood or underrated in the whole scene of philosophy, but he has also he was known to use these kind of psychedelics. And Nietzsche, of course, is like famous for his ideas about suffering and the meaning of life and overcoming nihilism. If people are nihilists, they feel that life is meaningless and that there is only suffering involved and boredom and evil in the world, and there is no meaning to find in all of it. And that Nietzsche thought about and described that the purpose of life is to kind of create a life which is filled with moments of bliss and happiness and overcoming this nihilism, and that you were only able to overcome this if you would find your purpose, something that you would really intrinsically be motivated about pursuing, and that you wanted to, that the things in life that make you passionate and that give you these moments of bliss and happiness. His motto was Amor Fati, which is Latin for you love life. You need to learn how to love life and overcome these ideas of meaninglessness. And one of his quotes is also that you need new modes of consciousness, and that these new modes of consciousness are really the differentiating element of man and Superman. What Nietzsche professed was that there was this difference between normal, everyday people, and that there is these Superman of people that found like their purpose and their passion. Nietzsche was, of course, like using psychedelics for himself to think about these things and to figure out for himself how to find these moments of bliss and happiness and purpose in his life. And more research is coming out nowadays of which proof that these kind of medicines like MDMA and psilocybin and LSD have like all these positive effects on your health, and that they have amazing results and in overcoming depressions and anxieties and addictions, and that these kind of medicines can help you to find this feeling of wonder in life and peace and purpose, and that this can really help people, as Nietzsche has also professed it, to overcome nihilism and to create finding a purpose and in your life, and to see the meaning in your suffering, why you are suffering from certain things, and what is and these medicines, which has been proven, help people to figure out like the core emotional trauma in themselves that result in these depressions or these addictions that they are dealing with, and these kind of mental issues. Once you overcome this, and once you able to heal yourself from these kind of things and have a sense of what your purpose is in life and what your passions are, which give you this feeling of bliss and happiness, then that can really make your life interesting in so many ways, that you start exploring the world and that you want to learn everything, and you start reading and researching everything, and you get like this excitement about life. So this trip, it inspired me to figure out and develop habits for myself that could help me to reach the same kind of benefits that you're able to get out of psychedelics. So the sense of wonder, peace and purpose in your life, but not being under the influence of it 24/7. Because I've been reading all of these articles online, which got me really like excited and motivated to learn more about what happened to me and get to these states without using that kind of stuff, which is really the proof that it's not addictive. It's quite the opposite. For me, it had the effect that I didn't want to take more of that stuff. I wanted to get to that sense of wonder without it. And I think that's like the most profound argument, the biggest argument that I have for why this stuff is not dangerous at all. And there are like several ways that I got into and that I got to research and to explore. I already had this habit of writing about it, which basically saved my trip and saved that whole experience for me, and really made it like that I could learn so much from it. And especially Nietzsche really got me to search for my purpose and to search for what my passion is, and I already had a sense of it, but writing really helped me to kind of like stay on that track. Like I called it the big plan, which I wrote about in my journals, that I wanted to figure out what it actually was, like that purpose for me. And writing really helped me to stay on track, to realize the things that I did, the habits that I wanted to take up or experiment with, like not drinking, not watching any pornography, eating more healthy, and several different kinds of diets. Like writing helped me to stay on track with that, and to kind of like, once you've written it down for yourself, you kind of make this promise to yourself that you want to stick with. And also writing helps to really, if you get on this path and like on those experiments and all of these things and insights that you gain by doing them, it really helps you to, once you write them down, to empty your mind and to kind of like really take the time to form words and whole sentences about the stuff that's going through your mind. Give it a place somewhere that you know that it's safe, it's written down, so you don't have to think about it anymore. And I really experienced that if I had dealt with certain questions, or if there were certain things that I felt that I had to write about, like that there was something I just felt like guided or pushed to start writing, if there was something. After this whole session, there were these realizations through these writing sessions, which I didn't know at the beginning, but I just felt that I had this urge to start writing. Like I said, that really helped me to stay on track and learn the most out of these experiments that I had been undertaking. Evaluating all of these experiences, I got to develop this routine for myself in the morning with the yoga and meditation, and the cold showers in the morning really gave me this like every day, this extreme focus on things and ability to get in touch with my creativity, and also get in touch much more. I felt much more especially those first few weeks or months, to eat more healthy and to get more out into nature and to be more in touch with all of those things. And after having kind of discovered or read much about yoga and meditation, and I started to do these things, I also started to get into how Tantra and Tantric sexual experience can help get into this kind of bliss, and that Tantra is really focused on achieving a sort of connection with your soulmate. I think that it is exactly these kind of capabilities that are being awakened with these psychedelics are really the kind of things that we need right now with the millennial generation right now. That there are a lot of people that don't have any clue what they want to do with their lives and just are continuously engaged with social media and completely addicted to their devices and to just what other people are thinking of them, and all these habits that are really detrimental to their spirituality. I think currently within my generation, but also other generations, there are a lot of people that are dealing with all kinds of depressions and addictions and anxieties that can really be effectively battled and cured with these kind of psychedelics. Already at this point it's really needed, but I think also by the time that I am going to upload these videos, there will be certain events that have developed that will really shake up our Western society and get people to ask certain questions. And this is what I want to get into more in my third video. Okay, let's stick with that. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much. See?